special provisions for computing profits and gains of business on presumptive basis. That is section 44AD. Hello learners, myself Ayushi Bansal. Today we are going to discuss one of the most important topic of our income tax, that is the special provisions related to the presumptive taxation scheme in case of business. Now learners, as we all know that the government is providing so many benefits to the taxpayers who are in their growing stage. Who are in their growing stage means that whose turnover of their businesses or their professions are up to a specified limit. That is, the business or the profession is in the developing stage. They are not just developed yet. So what kind of incentives they are provided to them? So one of the most important benefit, one of the most important relief benefit incentive they have provided to the taxpayers is the presumptive taxation scheme. So let's discuss about the scheme today. In the presumptive taxation scheme, first of all, I would like to tell you all that this is one of the topics, that is a presumptive taxation scheme, which comes in every examination every time. It means that there are the 90% chances that if you are pursuing the CA, CS, CMA course or your BCom examination, MCom, MBA, that in every examination this topic will come into examination. The reason, because it is so much important in our practical life as well. Okay, so the first question which comes into our mind, that who are the eligible person for this presumptive taxation scheme? Now I would like to tell you all that under this presumptive taxation scheme there are broadly three sections. There are broadly three categories. There are three sections. First one is for the businessman, that is for the business. So that section is section number 44AD. Section 44AD, which is particularly for the businesses. The next section which we are going to talk about is section 44ADA. Section 44ADA is for the professionals, that is for the profession purpose. And last but not the least section of the presumptive taxation scheme is section number 44AE. That is basically for those businesses who are involving in the leasing, hiring, transporting of goods carriages. That is particularly the goods transport agency who are involving in the business of transporting the goods from one place to another place. Okay, so in today's session we will discuss the section number 44AD, that is presumptive taxation scheme for the businessman. Now whenever I put this question, that section 44AD businessman, so the first question which students have asked me is that, ma'am, who is the eligible business? Who are the eligible business persons who can take the benefit of the scheme? So students, the eligible business who can take the benefit of the presumptive taxation scheme are, so student, those businessmen are, that is a small business. Now what do you mean by small business? It means on which basis we are going to decide that this business is small or this business is large. So on the basis of their turnover, that is on the basis of their total sales, that is the turnover part. Okay, so under the Income Tax Act 1961, section 44AD specifies that the presumptive taxation scheme under section 44AD, this scheme shall be applicable for those small businesses whose total turnover in the previous year, whose total turnover in the financial year in the previous year does not exceed rupees 200 lakhs. Rupees 200 lakhs, what does it mean? It means whose total turnover in a previous year does not exceed, rupees 2 crore. 200 lakhs, that is a 2 crore. So it basically means that if a business whose turnover is up to 200 lakhs in a financial year, then that business can avail the benefit of the scheme, that is the presumptive taxation scheme. But every businessman can take the benefit of the scheme, but except one business category, and that business category is business of plying, hiring and leasing goods carriages, because that particular business has already been covered under section 44AE. Okay, so that business is not going to cover here. Now this is about that who are the eligible assessees. The next point is that this particular point is about that who are the eligible business who can take the benefit of presumptive taxation scheme. The next question which we are going to cover here is that who are the eligible assessee. Now you might be thinking that is there any difference between the business and the assessee? So yes, as we all know that there are different category of persons. For example, I am just taking the example of 3 to 4 categories of persons under the Income Tax Act 1961. That is the individual, then under the individual category or in every category there are further two categorization, that is a resident and a non-resident. Then in resident category there is a further categorization of OR, that is the ordinarily resident, and resident but not ordinarily resident. Okay, so the next category is Hindu undivided family. Next might be the company, then the limited liability partnership, artificial juridical person, local bodies, and several others. So the businessman who is going to cover here is the business, particularly the business, not the businessman. The business who will cover under this category, that is the section 44AD, that business shall be those business whose turnover in a particular financial year does not exceed rupees 200 lakh. And the eligible assessee, it means the category of person who will be able to cover, who will be able to get the benefit of section 44AD, they shall be the resident individuals, not the non-resident individuals cannot get the benefit of section 44AD. Only the resident ones can get the benefit of it. Hindu undivided families and the partnership firms. But normally we include the LLPs, that is a limited liability partnership, in the category of partnership firms. But particularly for the purpose of section 44AD, we will not include, we are not going to include the LLP in the partnership firm category. So there are basically three categories who can take the benefit of this scheme if they are involving in such business whose turnover is up to rupees 200 lakhs only. And those categories of persons are, first of all, that is a resident individual, second is Hindu undivided family, and the third category is partnership firm. But again I am repeating it because it is very important, partnership firm, but it will not include LLPs, that is a limited liability partnership. Second, as we know that in the section 44AD, person is going to get so many benefits, so many reliefs, so many benefits. So they said that the person should not claim any deduction under any of the section 10 AA or the deduction under any provision of the chapter 6A, like the deduction under section 80C, 80D, 80E. So the person should not get those deductions. It means what they said is that as already they are giving so many deductions to the person, already they are providing so many benefits. What kind of benefits we are going to talk it about one by one. So as they are already providing so many benefits to that assessee, so they said now the assessee cannot claim benefit of any other deduction like of section 10 AA and chapter 6A. Okay, in that relevant assessment year in which that person is going to cover under this scheme. Now the next thing is, ma'am, what is that benefit? So one of the most important benefit of the section 44AD is the presumptive rate of tax. Listen it very carefully because it is very important. Presumptive rate of tax. Normally what we do while calculating our incomes, tell me students, tell me, normally what we do while calculating our income, we just take the total sales and then deduct all the expenditures from the total sales, or we take our total income and deduct all the expenditures like of expenditure of salary, expenditure of electricity expense, expenditure of procuring raw material or any other expenditure. Normally we do this kind of deducting the total expenditures from the sales amount. But then the profit which arrives becomes our income from business, and we claim the tax on that part, we pay the tax on that part. But under the presumptive rate of taxation, they said that we are presuming a specified percentage, on the total sales, and we are presuming that we are presuming a specified percentage, and we are supposing that percentage shall be the profit for that business in the assessment year in which the person has not exceed the turnover, in which the business has not exceed the turnover of 200 lakhs. Now, what is that presumptive rate of taxation? Do you want to know it? Okay. So that presumptive rate of taxation is 6% or the 8%. Now, in which category 6% will fall and in which categories 8% will fall, we will talk it about one by one. But have you noticed, if they are saying that the profit of the businessman who is going to cover under the presumptive rate of taxation, the profit shall be minimum. The profit, it means they have decided the lower cap, that is the minimum limit, that the minimum profit in that case of businesses shall be 6% or 8% of turnover. So if we are taking the category of 6%, so what does it mean? It means that they are saying that a person is actually claiming the expenditure of 94%. It means they are providing that if a person is earning 100 rupees, so in this 100 rupees might be the 94 can be their expenditure, and they are actually saying that pay the tax on this particular 6 rupees only. Okay, so that's why this scheme is so much important. The first benefit of this scheme is that we are not required to calculate income from this way. So they are saving us so much time that we have to take the total sales and we have to deduct the total expenditures, and while calculating the expenditures we have to see so many provisions of our income tax, that is section 30 to 38, which helps us to arrive the profit, which helps us to deduct the expenditures from the sales amount. Okay, so they normally said take the minimum amount of profit, that is a 6 or 8% of turnover. Now the next point might come into your mind is that 6 or 8%, why there are two rate of taxes? So the reason why there are two rate of taxes is, now I am going to clear it to you guys. So you all know that our government wants to make our economy a less cash economy. Which kind of economy I am talking about? That is the less cash economy. Let's see, learner, there are two kinds of economy which I am going to talk about. The first one is cashless economy. And the second is less cash economy. Students, under the cashless economy, cashless economy means that in an economy there is no usage of cash. Only the online transactions, only the digital transactions will prevail there. And less cash economy means that there will be usage of cash, but only up to a specified limit. Okay, so as our government wants to make our economy a less cash economy, that's why they are saying that make the payments by the digital mode. So to inspire us, to motivate us, to persuade us that we should do the digital transaction, they said that if a person is going to make the payments as well as going to receive the income with the digital mode, so they said that in that case, it means particularly actually they are saying that if the person is receiving the amount, in their businesses by the digital method, so a person can claim only 6% of turnover as his profit, as his income, and they can pay the tax on it. But if a person is not receiving the income with the digital modes, so the 6% will increase to 8%. It means in that case, presumptive rate of taxation will become 8%. So automatically they are motivating the businessman to make more digital payments. Okay, so that their taxation rate can get lower again. Now, what are those digital modes? Do you want to know what are these digital modes in which a person will claim the 6% of turnover as his income? Yes, okay. So as you asked, I am telling you students, I am telling you my learners, that those modes are, the first one is account pay check. So a person can receive the income by an account pay check, by an account pay bank draft, or the use of electronic clearing system through a bank account or through such other prescribed electronic modes. Now the next thing is, which are these other prescribed electronic modes? So let's discuss about it. These prescribed electronic modes are as follows. First of all, you can receive the income, you can do the transactions by the credit card, by the debit card, by the net banking, by using of IMPS, that is the immediate payment service, by using of UPI, that is the unified payment interface, or by doing the RTGS, by receiving RTGS, real-time gross settlement scheme, NEFT, National Electronic Fund Transfer, and the BHIM, Bharat Interface for Money, that is the Aadhaar Pay. Okay, so you can even use the BHIM app for it. Now, what they are saying that However, the presumptive rate of 6% of total turnover or gross receipts will be applicable in respect of amount which is received by an account paid check. It means they said that in a business, the person. Now students, practically what is happening in our country is that businessman is receiving the amount from both modes. That is by using these specified digital modes or by using the other modes, that is the cash. So in that case they said that the income which you are receiving through the digital modes, you can apply the rate of 6% of turnover as the presumptive rate of tax as the presumptive income. But on the other modes you have to apply minimum 8% of turnover. You have to show minimum 8% of turnover as your profit. And in fact, while filing our income tax return, you will notice that these both options are available in section 4480, that is in the ITR 4 presumptive taxation system for ITR for the presumptive taxation scheme. We can enter both the amounts, that is for the amounts we are using for the amounts we are receiving through the other modes, we put minimum 8% of turnover as our income, and the amounts we are receiving through the digital modes we are putting minimum 6% of turnover as our profit. Okay, so I hope there is no query till this point. Now this side, in which year the person is getting such income? So obviously in the previous year. However, the assessee, as I said, these 6% or 8% is the amount which is the minimum amount. I am repeating it, students, I am repeating it, my learners, minimum amount. So minimum amount means that if a person wants, they can declare the income which is higher than this income, but this is the minimum one, not the maximum one. So it means if a person wants to declare the income which is higher than the presumptive income, so calculated, they can show it. There is no problem about that. Okay, it means you can pay the higher amount of taxes to income tax department. No one is going to stop you. Now the next point is, if we see the logic, the concept behind it, it means in the case of 6%, they are actually providing the expenditure amount. They are actually assuming that the expenditures are approximately 94%. So do you think they are already providing the deductions for expenditure as 94% of a turnover? So do you think there shall be further deductions which shall be allowed in the Income Tax Act for the section 4480? Obviously not. A big no. Because already they are providing so many deductions, so many expenditure deductions. So in this case, now no further deduction that is allowed in the PGBP, that is section 30 to 38, shall not be allowed, as we are supposing that all the deductions which are allowable under section 30 to 38 shall already be deemed to have been allowed in full, and no further deduction shall be allowed. Okay. Now the next point is what is about the written down value. We all know written down value of asset means that the original value of the asset minus the depreciation under section 32 of the Income Tax Act 1961, particularly for the purpose of income tax. So this said, now we are deeming that while calculating the presumptive income, the income tax have already been, it means we are deeming that this depreciation that is the deduction of section 32 have already been claimed. We are deeming it. We have not actually claimed it, but we are deeming it. As we are deeming it that we have claimed all the expenditures of section 30 to 38, it means including section 32 of depreciation, that is section 32 of Income Tax Act 1961. So while preparing the balance sheet, we will assume that already depreciation have been provided, and then the exact written down value shall be mentioned in the balance sheet. It means in the balance sheet, the value which will be arrived as the WDV of the asset shall be value of asset minus the depreciation which must be provided under the section 32 of Income Tax Act 1961. Okay, so the WDV of any asset of such business who are going to claim the income as the presumptive rate of taxation shall be deemed to have been calculated as if the assessee has already been claimed that part of depreciation and had been actually allowed the deduction, and then the WDV shall be arrived. Now the next important benefit of the scheme is that a person who is, now students, you all can see that what are they actually doing in the presumptive rate of taxation is that they said that you can directly take the profit as minimum 6% or minimum 8%. It means they are not saying us that maintain your books of accounts as per the Income Tax Act 1961. So the next benefit is that there is a relief from maintaining of books of accounts and doing its audit. Yes, the next benefit of presumptive rate of taxation, that is the section 44AD, is relief from maintenance of books of accounts and audit. So the intention of widening the scope of the scheme is to reduce the compliances of the taxpayer and to reduce the administrative burden on those small taxpayers who are in their growing stage. So they said that there is no requirement to maintain the books of accounts or get them audited under section 44AB. Okay, so normally we are required to maintain the books of accounts as per the section 44AA of Income Tax Act 1961. But if a person is getting the benefit of this scheme, that is the benefit of section 44AD, so a person is not required to maintain the books of accounts as per section 44AA and get them audited under section 44AB. Both compliances have been sorted out for them. Okay, now the next thing is, we all know that under section 44AB, as per section 44AB, if any person, it means if turnover of any person, turnover of any assessee, turnover of any business is exceeding the amount of 1 crore, so in that case person is required to get his books of accounts audited under the Income Tax Act. But if a person is getting the benefit of section 44AD, then in that case a person is not required to get his books of accounts audited even if his income exceeds the amount of 1 crore, because here the limit of presumptive taxation is 2 crore, that is the 200 lakhs. So in this case this limit gets doubled. It means if a person is getting the benefit of section 44AD, so that person is not required to get his books of accounts audited when the income exceeds 1 crore. Now the next important benefit regarding this scheme is advance tax. Now what is this advance tax? We all know that if a person estimated the liability of tax, the exact word is estimated liability of taxes increasing is exceeding 10,000 rupees. So in that case they said that a person is required to deposit the tax in advance in the form of JSDM, that is at the end of every quarter. It means the first advance tax, the first installment of advance tax shall be paid in which month? In which month? That is in the June, then in September, then in December, and then in March. How these months are going to be calculated? The first of all is April, May, June, that is the June. July, August, September, October, November, December, that is the third month. Then the January, February, March. But in case if this is applicable for the normal taxpayers, okay, but if the person is going to be covered under the section 44AD, so they said that in that case, if a person estimated tax liability is increasing that particular specified amount for the advanced tax compliances, so in that case now a person is not required to pay the tax in such installments. A person can pay the total amount of estimated tax liability by 15th March of the financial year. It means there will be no such installments and there will be no such interest or penalty if a person do not deposit the installments at the particular time. Okay, now are there any persons who are not eligible for the presumptive taxation scheme? So obviously there are some categories of persons. Now who are those category of persons? Do you want to know? Yes. So the very first category of persons is a person carrying on profession. Now I will say you, a person carrying on profession will not cover here. A person carrying on professional shall be covered under the category under the presumptive taxation scheme of 44ADA. So we will talk about them in that part. Okay. Now the next thing is that the said is, or a person carrying on profession is referred to in section 44AA subsection 1, that is legal, medical, engineering, and that all categories will not be covered under section 44AD. Second persons are a person who is earning income in the nature of commission or brokerage. If a person is earning the income in the nature of commission or brokerage, they cannot take the benefit of the presumptive taxation scheme. The third category here is if a person carrying on any agency business. That agency business cannot also claim the benefit of presumptive taxation scheme. So it means basically here we have covered the three categories. First of all, the category of professionals. Second, a person who is earning income in the nature of commission or brokerage. Third, a person who is carrying on any agency business. And yes, keep it in your minds, learners, that if a person is doing the business of flying, hiring or leasing of goods carriages, because for that particularly there is a section number 44AE, which is also a section for them for the presumptive taxation scheme. Now to say that, but a very important point which you should consider, because most of the taxpayers do mistake in this part, so do not do mistake in this part, because this is so much important. If you do the mistake, if you make the mistake in this part, so you will not be able to get the benefit of section 44AD in the further future years. Yes, so please hear it, please understand it very carefully. They say that if an eligible assessee declares the profit for any previous year in accordance with the provisions of section 44AD, so do you know that if an eligible assessee has taken the benefit of section 44AD in any previous year, so that person is now required to continue the scheme of section 44AD for at least 5 consecutive years. Yes, for the 5 consecutive years. If in between of these 5 consecutive years, these must be the consecutive years, okay, it means 1 by 1 year, that is the year which are in the line after 1 by 1. So, but if in between any of these 5 years, the person has just shut off from the 44AD scheme, that is, they apply the normal scheme. So, in that case, in the year in which they have shifted down to the normal scheme, so from that year to next 5 years, a person cannot claim the benefit of section 44AD. Yes, let me explain you with the help of an example. Let's see what they are saying. If where an eligible assessee declares profit for any previous year in accordance with the provisions of this section means that is the section 44AD, and he declares profits for any of the 5 consecutive assessment years not in accordance with the provisions of section 44AD, so he shall not be able to claim the benefit of the provision of this section for 5 subsequent assessment years who will be the following the assessment year. Okay, now what does it mean? Let's take an example. Let us consider the following particulars which are relating to a resident individual, that is Mr. A being an eligible assessee whose gross receipts do not exceed 2 crore, that is the 200 lakhs. In any of the assessment years between assessment year 21-22 to assessment year 23-24. Okay. Now what happens is, it means the first year in which the person has claimed the benefit of the presumptive taxation scheme is assessment year 21-22. Okay, that is the previous year 2021. Okay, I hope you understand it. In this case, gross receipts are 1 crore 80 lakh. Income offered for taxation is 14 lakh 40,000. Now you have to consider that is this under the presumptive taxation scheme? So yes, 14 lakh 40,000 divided by 1.8 crores into 100. It will come to 8%. So yes, this is the minimum percentage which a person should offer their income under the presumptive taxation scheme. So they offered income as per the presumptive taxation scheme under section 44AD. Yes. In the next year, that is assessment year 22-23, that is the previous year 21-22, their gross receipts were 1 crore 90 lakhs. They have offered the income for taxation as 15 lakh 20,000, which is the 8% of 1 crore 90 lakhs. So yes, they have again offered the income as per that presumptive taxation scheme, because as per the section 44AD, if a person has claimed the benefit of the section 44AD in the previous year 2021, so in the next 5 consecutive assessment years, a person is required to claim the benefit of that presumptive taxation scheme. But in the year assessment 23-24, what happened? Their gross receipts were 2 crore. It means they were eligible to take the benefit of presumptive taxation scheme. They have offered the income for taxation as only 10 lakh. That is the 5% of 2 crore. But that is not the minimum percentage of the presumptive taxation scheme. Under the minimum percentage, they have to show at least the amount of 6% or 8% of turnover as their income. So it means now they do not have offered the income for the presumptive taxation scheme under section 44AD. It means they have ruled out the provision. Now, in the above case, as Mr. A, an eligible assessee, opts for presumptive taxation scheme under section 44AD for previous year 2021, that is the assessment year 21-22, and offered income of 14.40 and 15.20 lakh on gross receipts of 1.8 crore and 1.9 crore respectively. That is in the limits of legal law, legal taxation. But for the assessment year 23-24, he offers income of only 10 lakh on turnover of 2 crore. That is only the 5%. It means now they have ruled out the provision. So since they have not offered income in accordance with the provisions of section 44AD, that is the subsection 1 provision, for 5 consecutive assessment years, so after assessment year 2021, he will not be eligible to claim the benefit of section 44AD for next 5 assessment years succeeding assessment 23-24. It means now, as they have ruled out the provision in the assessment year 23-24, so from that 23-24 assessment year, so the next 5 consecutive assessment year, they will not be eligible to claim the benefit of section 44AD. So please learners, while filing your ITR, please consider this point that if you have claimed the benefit of section 44AD, so at least continue that provision for minimum 5 years. Otherwise, you will not be able to take that benefit again for the next 5 consecutive assessment year. That is as they have ruled out the provision in the assessment year 23-24. So now from next 5 years, that is after this assessment year, that is 23-24, next 5 years from this assessment year, that is the first assessment year shall be which year? 24-25. Next 25-26. Next assessment year shall be 26-27. Fourth one shall be 27-28. And the last but not the least, that is the 5th year shall be the 28-29. So it means now a person will not be eligible to take the benefit of presumptive taxation scheme under section 44AD up to assessment year 28-29. So it will be a huge loss for that person. Assessment year 28-29 means that is the previous year 27-28. Okay. So while filing your ITR, please consider this point very carefully. Okay. Now, I hope you will be able, now I hope that you understand this taxation, that you have understood the scheme of presumptive taxation in a very interesting manner. In case of any query, please let me know in the comment section. Plus, if you like my videos, please share this video with your friends, with your known ones. And please subscribe my channel and press the bell button so that you will get the notifications on a timely basis. And yes, we are coming with a lot of more videos. Our next video will be on the topic of 44ADA. That is the presumptive taxation scheme in the case of professionals. Okay, so stay tuned to my channel. Thank you and have a nice day.